Hello everyone, my name is Andy and today I'm going to talk about Gerd Hofstede's cultural dimensions and the linguistic differences between verbal and non-verbal intercultural communication. This topic is part of the Unit 3 Cross Cultural and Miscommunication, and it's essential because as future EFL teachers we need to understand how culture, communication and language are deeply connected. So first of all, let's talk about who was Gerd Hofstede. He was a Dutch social psychologist who studied how culture influences people's values, behaviors, and communications. His research with employees from more than 70 countries revealed patterns that will help us to understand why people behave differently across countries. His theory is widely used in education because it helps teachers to and students to identify cultural expectations that influence communication, learning, and interactions. So now let's talk about the dimensions. The first dimension is power distance. The first dimension, uh, or PDI, it refers to how much society accepts unequal power. In high powered distant cultures, hierarchy is strong. Teachers or leaders make decisions, and questioning authority is rare. In low power distant cultures, people expect equality, and students may openly share opinions or disagree with the teacher. So understanding this helps us to predict how students might participate in class. Let's talk about of the second dimension, individualism versus collectivism. So individualism focuses on the personal. People value independence, personal goals, and self-expressions. Collectivist cultures focus on we, the group harmony, and shared responsibility. This dimension is very important in the EFL classroom because it affects group work, decision making, and even how students respond to feedback. Now let's talk about of the third dimension, masculinity versus femininity. Masculinity cultures emphasize competition, achievement, and success. Meanwhile, feminine cultures value cooperation, well doing, and balance. As teachers, these dimensions help us to understand whether students prefer competitive activities or collaborative or supportive environments. Okay. So, now let's talk about the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is uncertainty avoidance. This dimension describes how comfortable a culture is with ambiguity or unknown situations. In high uncertainty avoidance cultures, people need rules, structures, and clear instructions. In low uncertainty avoidance cultures, people are more flexible and open to new experiences. In an in an EFL context, this helps us to adapt the way we give instructions or introduce new activities. So now let's talk about the fifth dimension, long-term versus short-term orientation. Long-term oriented cultures value persistence, future rewards, and planning. Meanwhile, short-term oriented cultures prefer traditions, quick results, and immediate outcomes. This dimension helps us to understand how students see progress. Some expect fast results, while others are comfortable with slow, steady improvement. Now let's move to intercultural competence, which is essential in cross cultural communication. Intercultural competence is the ability to interact effectively and appropriately with people from different cultural backgrounds. It includes three main components, as you can see in the screen: knowledge, skills, and attitudes. In the knowledge, we know that understanding cultural differences, such as Hofstede's dimensions, skills being able to observe, interpret, and compare and adapt, attitudes showing openness, curiosity, respect, and avoidance of judgment. So intercultural competence allows us to communicate in ways that reduce misunderstanding and build positive relationships. Now let's talk about of verbal and nonverbal intercultural communication. Verbal communication includes the words we use, tone of voice, level of formality, speed, and even silence. Cultures differ in directness. Some cultures have hide context and rely on indirect language and relationships, while others are low context and prefer clear and specific explicit messages. Nonverbal communications could include gestures, eye contact, facial expressions, posture, personal space, and the use of time. These signals often carry more meaning than words and can easily cause miscommunication. For example, eye contact can be a sign of respect in one culture, but a sign of disrespect in another one. So finally, let's talk about why is all this important for EFL students. Learning a language is not only learning a vocabulary and grammar, it's also learning how people from different cultures communicate, think, and also behave. Understanding cultural dimensions helps the students to interpret messages more accurately, developing intercultural competence also prepares them for to interact in global spaces academically, professionally, and personally. It also reduces cultural shock, prevents misunderstanding, and promotes respect inside multilingual and multicultural classrooms. In other words, culture is not optional in language learning, it's essential. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and I hope this explanation helps to show the importance of understanding culture and communication. Thank you.